Right, so we start off with the domain. So we look at the denominator, and it doesn't factor. And when you look at the discriminant for the quadratic, you get that you're going to get imaginary solutions. So what that means is that when you do b squared, which is 9, minus 4 times a times c, you get a negative number in here. So this is going to be imaginary. So no real number in the denominator will give you 0. So that means the domain is all reals. Because of that, you get no wholes because there's no common factor in the numerator and denominator. For x-intercept, well, the top is not the difference of cubes. So we could treat it just as, setting it equal to 0. It's not, hold on. So x cubed minus 3 equals 0, and then so you move the 3 over to the other side, take the cube root, and plug it into a calculator, and you get approximately, cube root of 3 is approximately 1.4. So I should put approximately. So the x-intercept would be cube root of 3, 0, which is approximately 1.4. For y-intercept, you cover up all the x's and you get negative 3 over 6, so it's negative 1/2. This is a top-heavy, what do you call it, rational function, so we're going to have to, well, first off, no, there are no vertical asymptotes because the domain is all reals. For the horizontal or slant, it's going to be a slant. So I'll do the work. Let me erase this part since we already make ourselves some room here. We're going to do long division. We need some placeholders because we don't have a square and we don't have an x. And so x squared into x cubed is x. So I get x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x. And remember, when you divide, we subtract so that means we add the opposite. So that's minus, that's plus, and this is minus. So then we have 0, 3x squared minus 6x minus 3. X squared into 3x squared is plus 3. And I stop right here because when I subtract here, it's going to be a remainder. And we don't care about the remainder. So my slant asymptote is y equals x plus 3. The symmetry is none because in the numerator I have odd and even, because 3 remember has an right here has an x to the 0 power, so that's a 3, and then this would be a 0, so that's odd and even, so that means none, no symmetry. Alright, so there is no vertical asymptote, but there is a slant of y equals x plus 3. So I have a dot here and a dot here, and I connect them with a dotted line or dashed line, and that's my slant asymptote. Okay, then I have 2 points, 0, negative 1/2 for the y-intercept, so that's about here, and 1.40 for the x-intercept, so that's about here. And that's all I need because I know that the graph at the end is going to go towards the asymptote. So just connect these two and go towards the asymptote like that. Same thing here, towards the asymptote. Now I could have plugged in, let's say, f of 4. And so that would have given me 6. Yeah, it would have, I might be off by a little bit, or you could plug in also on the left side f of negative 4, or maybe f of negative 2 instead. So that would give you negative 11, 4 plus 6 plus 6, so that would be negative 11 over 16. So it would be close to -1. So yeah, it's pretty good, maybe a little bit higher, like that. So I was pretty close initially, so this is fine. So the red one is the graph. Okay, the green dotted line is just an asymptote, but the red one is a graph of g of x.